Brought to you by patreon.com/inspired disorder and inspireddisorder.com/ting.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
The 40-year-old version. New movie, new independent movie out on Netflix. Movie that kind of looked interesting. Had that black and white feel to it. Looking forward to it. One of the things I love about movies, when I used to collect DVDs, I would blind buy a lot of movies just based on having those little wreaths on the front, where it's like, oh, they won this award from this independent film festival that got grand jury prize and Cannes or whatever. And I discovered a lot of fun movies that way. A lot of great independent movies out there that people will never see because they're just independent and they just hit the film festival circuit and they maybe never get distribution and they just kind of die in obscurity. But this one is not dead. It is very much alive. It is very much my favorite movie of the year. Written, directed, starring Radha Blank. Just an amazing film. As an artist, it's something that really resonated with me. The look and feel of the movie is amazing. It really has like a Spike Lee aesthetic to it. But I've reviewed a couple Spike Lee films on this show before. I am not the biggest Spike Lee fan. I respect his voice and his style. The man just has a lot of anger. Which is completely understandable, but a little bit too much anger for me in most of his films. However, this one, despite having the look and feel of a Spike Lee movie, which I feel like this one was probably influenced a lot by his work, this one's far less anger, far more comedy. It's not a straight-up comedy film, but there's a lot of comedy in this movie. It's about Radha, who is a 40-year-old playwright who got big in her 30s. She won a 30 under 30 award, and now she's approaching 40s, and she's trying to evolve. She's trying to change. She's trying to kind of step out of the comfort zone of what she's been doing and what she's been known for. It's kind of a thing that a lot of artists, not a lot of artists, but there's definitely artists that kind of break too early, or they get a lot of attention early on in their career. And it's usually a bad mixture. Generally people that get famous too early and they still haven't found their voice maybe, or there's a lot of things. They just don't have the experience. They don't have the confidence to create that they would if they had been doing it and developing art and understanding what it takes to develop ideas over and over again. The kind of repetition and experience that you gain from being able to do that, and confidence you gain from doing that. So a lot of the times when artists break too early, you see a lot of flash in the pan, one-hit wonders come out of that. And not to say that she is that, but she's definitely kind of hit a slump. It's like, just resting on her laurels from this play that she wrote when she was, a decade ago, which I love. I love the idea of artists evolving. Taking risks is a very important part of the creative process, especially if you want to evolve, constantly trying to challenge yourself with what you're doing and how you're doing it and what you're trying to say, which this movie is about that. It's about creating real, authentic art, right? Because when you're, as an artist, when you decide to take risks, when you decide to do a thing that you haven't done before, when you put yourself out there in a new way, it's very rare that you're going to have people support you because they don't understand what it is to be an artist. They don't understand what it is to really push yourself and to try and grow and to try and change and try and evolve. So it's a very lonely place to be a lot of times when you're setting out to do something new. So as an artist, you have to have ultimate faith in your abilities, ultimate faith in yourself, that the idea that you want to develop, grow, is something worthwhile, is something that's worth your time and energy, because it takes time to develop an idea. It's not like, you know, just because you get early success, easy success in one thing doesn't mean that everything you do is going to attract that same kind of attention. Some things take a lot longer to cook before they're done. And yeah, so I love that this movie is so much about just creating real work independently, despite people. I mean, there's not a lot of people who are playwrights getting into hip hop, because that's what she wants to do. She's this playwright, and when she was a kid, she used to write rhymes. She used to do a lot of rapping as a kid, and it's something that she wants to bring back. It's like this true, authentic voice that she had when she was a kid, which most children have the most authentic voice because they don't have these preconceived notions of what an artist should be or what they should be doing. They understand there's no rules in art. There are no rules, and they're not like worried about what people are going to think about the work that they do. So she tries to tap in to that old voice of hers, that thing that she used to love as a kid, creatively, and trying to bring that back. But as somebody who's older, it's like it's even tougher for somebody who's older to really change and break out and try something new, right? Like Garth Brooks did it, maybe not successfully, when he tried to be whatever the emo rock Ed Gaines or whatever. I forget what his fake persona was, but it's possible. It's hard. It's not easy, and it's a completely different world. Her creating hip hop versus working in the like theater business. It's a completely different world where producing a play, she has to go through a producer who's got notes for her. She has to go through a director. There's actors involved. There's so many visions involved, so many hands working on a single thing, that it's not as pure of an expression as if you were to be a hip hop artist, where maybe you have somebody making beats for you, but all of your thoughts and ideas are singularly viewed and inputted into the work itself. Same thing with comedy. Comedy is a very similar thing, even more so than hip hop, because there's nobody making beats. It's just you up on a stage with a microphone. So I appreciate that. I mean, those are two things that are very similar in like a fine art world, where there's nobody giving me notes. There's nobody telling me what to do when I decide to sit down and paint something or draw something or design something on Photoshop or edit a video. There's no rules. I can model things that I do after other people, and gain ideas from things that I've seen other people kind of try and experiment with. But it's completely not. It's like it's the difference in eating like raw whole foods versus processed foods. Like the old play, the old Broadway, the old like theatrical kind of factory of making art that she's kind of in a lot of ways beat her down over the years, because it's just like you have to overcome so many hurdles for something to get made, and once it is made, it's generally not what you intended 100%. It's been influenced over the time of its creation. So being able to really get in there and just do something raw and real and organic that's just 100% you is a completely different thing. So in addition to the comedy I loved in this movie, I love the music. The hip hop moments are authentically done. I thought there's parts where her DJ that makes the beats takes her to a rap battle that's in like this factory where it's like a boxing gym, and that's like in a boxing ring, which I thought was good. And even the battle, like everything felt authentic. It didn't feel like a movie hired, like the writer of the movie like made up raps for the movie. It's like people that actually do hip hop and do rap battles actually doing their thing. It felt very authentic, very real. I really enjoyed the movie. Probably my favorite movie of the year, the 40-year-old version. Not a big fan of the title, although it does pay off at the end of the movie. But yeah, just way too easily confused with the other movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is also a classic comedic film, but this one is very much more, has a lot more meat to it, has a lot more heart to it. I mean, than just a standard comedy. It's really trying to tell a story about a woman who's comes from an artistic family too. But and through that, through having an artistic family, her mom was an artist, and seeing how her mom evolved and changed and did different things throughout her life, I'm sure is also a big inspiration of what led her to have the confidence to try something new with hip hop. I really loved it. I really love the movie. I highly recommend you check it out. The black and white decision to not have color. There are moments of color in the movie which I enjoy. The very end of the movie, it switches to color. It's a nighttime scene and they're walking away from the camera, so you don't get to see a lot of color. But I appreciate the look and feel. It really helps strip away a lot of distraction, getting rid of the colors in the film, and just filming in black and white. But I really loved it. Go check it out. The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Make sure you support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/inspired disorder. You can binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free, save a ton of money on The Many Faces, and download raw Photoshop files of all the Photoshops I do. It's only $3 a month to sign up. You get a bunch of benefits, so sign up now over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. Get yourself $25 in cell phone credit through Ting. Sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. Get yourself some amazing cell phone service at low rates, starting off with, of course, the $25 credit when you sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. It's a cell phone service that I use. I brought my iPhone over to it. I pay like $15 a month because I'm not using any data. I'm not using any minutes because I'm working from home. And if you're working from home and you want to save tons of money on your cell phone service, I would recommend checking out Ting. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting, and get yourself $25 in credit that you can use to transfer your device, to buy a device, to pay for your monthly bill, whatever you want, $25. Because I love you. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!